All right. I know you're about to take 5 minutes with your intro. So while you doing that, I'm going to step away for 2.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Easy, you don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place. I wanna be first, work till it hurts. Dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Bloody hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on the scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. And when they try to change, you can say no, free me.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? Hey everybody, I appreciate y'all coming through. You seen the thumbnails, you already know. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Hit the bell notification. We're gonna get it cracking with the Johnny Depp case trial. I have Robbie here. So yeah, you know how you got like one of them homeboys that, you know, like, hey man, the favorite movie going, you want to go see it? Ah man, I just woke up, I got the crust blickers in my eye. Come on, let's go. It's a great show. So we kind of like you started this choo-choo train, so now you got to see it to the end. So I appreciate Robbie for get me. Let's get this together.
Exactly. I was like, what we doing?
It is what it is. So let me go ahead and just punch this bad boy up so we can but definitely appreciate the chat for coming through. Just not really a spoiler, but again, today at 6:30 p.m. the thumbnail's already there. I know I said 6 o'clock, but I'm giving some grace period for other people to come through for just to get settled in and get on time. So 6:30 today, that's about 4 hours and 30 minutes from now, we'll be having a discussion about vetting. So vetting in all shapes and forms in relationships. That's girls, guys, how to vet, what steps to take, all that good stuff, what they think vetting is. So that's going to be a definitely good conversation to have. That's for all guys. So ladies, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, bring to the chat. I will definitely read them suckers like they are super chat. So you can get heard. All right.
That part. But when you come through, this channel don't got super chat, but it do got Cash App and a PayPal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, appreciate to see. That's what happens. We got good people. You know what I'm saying? They're looking out for you.
Yes.
So what you see so far while I'm looking this up of Johnny Depp?
I didn't even watch today. Honestly, when we're doing these reviews together, I wait, so I'm not too.
Are you good people? See, that's what I'm saying. You good people. It's like no spoilers. No spoilers.
We in it together. Like what we do, what they doing today.
Let's find out.
Yes, I know Camille better be on the case because wherever she was yesterday. That
I did as I was scrolling, I snuck through. So she is on it, but she do have another gentleman he's on point too. He's not letting people kind of like drag out an answer on those situations. Okay. But that's good.
Because that man yesterday done let them do. Who the tides had turned. Did you see on Twitter now is trending justice for Amber Heard? And
why didn't I have that conversation? Is that a tweet negative or a tweet positive? Because they was digging on that one yesterday about the Johnny Depp.
Yes, it's surely tweet positive today. Let me see if I got that screenshot. I think I did.
He was much less sharp than he was earlier in the night.
Did Miss Heard appear intoxicated to you?
She did. She seemed, I think when she was angry at him, it seemed like she was intoxicated, but that's just based on my own personal trauma dealing with abuse.
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike.
Sure.
Sustain the objection. We'll strike it from the record. Please disregard.
Thank you.
Did you observe anyone do or take drugs?
I did not.
Did you witness Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard interact other than the argument that you previously described for the jury?
At the end of the night, I heard a commotion. I was inside the house and came out. I couldn't tell what was going on. And Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard were having a discussion about I'm not sure what, but then they went to their trailer. At that point, a lot of people had already gone to bed. So it just kind of petered out. Everyone went to bed, including myself, and I didn't hear anything else the rest of the night.
What time did the evening come to an end?
I'd say it was almost around 3 a.m.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp grab anyone?
Objection leading. Sustained.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp become physical with anyone?
Objection leading. Sustained. Next question.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp get angry that evening?
Objection leading.
Somebody that took some classes.
What, if anything, happened the next morning?
The next morning, we have checkout at noon at the time before COVID. And so around 11 o'clock, one of my innkeepers let me know that there was some damage.
Objection, hearsay.
Oh.
Did something happen that caused you to go to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's trailer?
Yes, I was informed that.
Objection, hearsay.
She's
It's
on
not
it.
being offered for the truth, Your Honor. I mean, may we approach on this
Okay,
topic?
sure.
Thank you.
Get him, Granny Goodness.
Right. See, this is why I hate people getting on my nerve. See. People be putting stupid stuff on Twitter and then they block it so nobody else can't reply.
The innkeepers let me know that there was some damage in one of the trailers, and it happened to be Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's trailer. So I wanted to inspect the trailer because I was extremely worried. All those trailers that Steve and I worked on were like my babies, and the one they were staying in was the only one that was mostly original and restored 1950s style, and so I was very concerned.
So what did you observe when you went to the trailer?
I observed that there was a light sconce by the bathroom in the bedroom that had been broken off the wall, and a couple pieces were on the floor, and they were, and yeah, it was basically just broken. The light fixture was hanging on the wall still, except for the pieces that were on the floor.
Did you come to understand how that happened?
Objection. Foundation and
All right,
light.
foundation. I'll sustain as the foundation. How he knew.
Did you ask how the sconce was broken?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
How often do light fixtures in the trailers break?
They break pretty often. I mean, it's not like a usual thing, but things in the trailers generally get broken because it's all vintage trailers. And I would say as much as every couple weeks, there's some incident of damage in one of the trailers. In this case, Mr. Depp had told me that.
Objection,
Sustain the
hearsay.
objection.
That's hearsay. I
So,
stay in the
anyway,
trailer.
yes.
Beyond the light
We're
fixtures,
making up stuff
anything
now.
else in the trailers?
No, everything else looks fine. In fact, we have something we call a piggy fee that we address to guests, that if there's anything, what we call inconsiderate or unusually large messes, we charge them extra for it for a $25 an hour cleaning fee. But they did not receive one of those because everything outside of light fixture looks fine.
We were just talking about food,
And what was
Marcus.
your reaction to seeing the damaged light fixture?
To be honest, I was relieved because it was not a big deal. I just there was already another light in the room. So I just tucked the wires in the wall until I had a few months later time to buy, it was matching sconce with another one in the room. So I had to, on eBay, find a matching pair that would fit there. And when I finally got around to it, I was able to get that and charge it to Nathan, whose credit card I had.
And what was your understanding of who Nathan was?
Mr. Depp's assistant.
Okay. And what did you charge Nathan or Mr. Depp for replacing that pair of light fixtures?
The pair came out to $62.
Mm.
She's smirking.
Uh-huh.
While you
'Cause
were
she's
on
stupid.
site, Mr. Knight, did you ever wear a mesh shirt?
I'm sorry, I'm bad. She's writing a note. The lawyer look over, it's like, I'll suck your beep.
During the time during Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurt's stay on the property, did you see
Help me,
Mr.
Lord.
Depp become physical with anyone?
I did
Objection
not.
leading.
Overruled. That's
I'm sorry, that answer was,
I never saw Mr. Depp get physical with anyone when I saw him.
thank you, Your
all right.
Honor. Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, everybody thought Katie Moss was going to be testifying for Amber Heard, but
Mr.
I'm
Knight,
looking at the
you
confirmed
are a
witness list.
pretty
She's
big
testifying
fan
for
of
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
I am not.
Mm.
To be honest, throughout the
That's
evening,
funny.
Sorry, I just asked you one question.
Oh, I
didn't ask you
apologize.
the rest of that.
I
You
apologize.
wanted to participate in this trial, didn't you?
I did not. I
You
was
knew-
asked by the attorney, and I wanted to. They asked me, and I said I'll be happy to come and tell the truth.
You knew this was on camera, that it was being broadcast to a lot of people, and you saw testimony, did you not, in this case? And you seized the moment and responded to the umbrella guy, the lead person for Mr. Depp's Twitters. Did you not?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative compound.
Overruled.
Okay.
Mr. Umbrella Guy is the lead. The lead
You know
what?
that he is
What's going on,
really
Miss
one of the
Greta?
most predominant pro-Depp
Hey, boo.
Twitters there.
I have no idea. I don't care or follow the Umbrella Guy.
In fact, you do follow a Twitter called Johnny Depp fan, don't you?
Absolutely not.
You don't? That's your
No.
testimony under oath?
It is my testimony under oath.
All right. And on April 21st, Mr. Depp testified in this case about Hicksville, didn't he?
I wasn't here.
You tweeted in response to the umbrella guy on April 21, 22, quote, "That never happened. I was with them all night. Amber was the one acting all jealous and crazy." Do you
Yes, I-
recall writing that?
I do recall writing that.
Michelle, can you
What-
bring that up, please? We're going to call it Defendants 1903.
1903.
And I'm going to go ahead and ask you to redact, leave in the umbrella guy
Oh, now you want to read that? What's going on?
Mm.
and the bringing in the Hicksville. Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm just,
Well, while they're putting that in, let's let you know who is testifying. Dr. Richard Shaw, Dr. Kimberly Collins, forensic psychologist, Candy Davison Goldbraun, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles representative, Walter Hamada from Warner Brothers Pictures, Richard Marks, entertainment lawyer, Mark Spindler, that's who I believe is on the stand right now,
while she's
damages
working on
experts,
that,
Doug
did you
Bonilla,
write and
social media
direct a piece
expert.
called Matters of Consequence back in 1999?
I did.
And didn't Mr. Depp's first wife, Lorianne Allison, work as a makeup artist on that?
She absolutely did.
And while we're looking at that, 4 days after you tweeted to Umbrella Man,
I
you,
thought it was Umbrella Guy.
the
Mm.
umbrella guy, okay? Well, all right, now we have this up. I'm going to ask you to take a look. What is Defendant's Exhibit 1903? Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, and that's from that umbrella guy on 4/21/22, correct?
Correct.
And it says bringing in the Hicksville incident accusations. Do you see that?
I do.
And there's clearly Mr. Depp testifying there, likely a video, right?
Okay.
And you respond, that never happened. I was with them all night. Amber was the one acting oblivious and crazy.
Oh,
Bless you.
excuse me. Thank you.
I do.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission.
Sorry, I'll
of
be allergic to
defendant's
Amber Turd
1903.
too. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Your
this
Honor,
is Morgan
we
Knight.
believe the first
Maybe,
part of
maybe
the,
not.
the
Hicksville
Okay.
umbrella
witness.
guy's tweet should be unredacted for context.
Oh,
Yes.
I have no idea what I was
Hit,
replying to.
hit it,
It's
hit it,
hearsay.
hit.
It's rank hearsay, and context
Your
is
Honor.
not necessary.
But you started it.
You entered it into evidence. Come on, come through, Camille. Oh, you opened the door. Unclean hands. Open the door. Boom. Dr. David Colbert, Depp's hand doctor. Jennifer Howell, former friend of Whitney Henriquez. Kate Moss, Depp's ex-girlfriend. Brian Neumeister, metadata expert. Morgan Tremaine, Lydia Philippe, flight attendant. Dr. Shannon Curry, forensic psychologist. And Johnny Depp. So we're going to have a Johnny Depp sandwich at the beginning and the end. Ooh, I love it.
Oh, pause. Pause for me.
Well.
all right.
Ever heard Grace gay so grab, but she gonna lose today.
With that redaction, any objection?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay,
Better hurry up.
so
You got
the
4 hours.
Evidence with, as redacted.
Why she looking? Why she all nervous now? What you nervous for?
Got to calculate.
Stuttering and stuff.
Now, so you reached out to the umbrella guy in this text, this Twitter, right?
I wouldn't call it reaching out.
And in fact, the umbrella guy is in Mr. Adam Waldman. Do you know who Adam Waldman is?
I have no idea.
Well, he's testified earlier that he talks to the umbrella guy.
Did he what? He talked to the umbrella guy?
Yeah, were you aware of that?
I honestly, this sounds like schizophrenia.
Okay. Now, 4 days after
He's a smart ass.
this
I believe it.
event where you texted, Your Honor, yeah, it's in. Okay, good. 4 days after that, you tweeted something pretty nasty about Elon Musk, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, thank you. So you don't like Elon Musk, right?
Objection.
He
relevance.
did.
Oh,
I don't know Elon
Oh,
Musk.
overruled.
thank you.
So that was the context of that is that he
I
had.
didn't ask you for the context.
I apologize.
Okay.
Oops,
but
I
you
gave it to you
texted
anyway.
something that had swear words in it. Would you agree about Elon Musk?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about your recollections here. 45 minutes to an hour. Your recollection is that Mr. Depp actually drove there?
Yes.
What type of car was he driving?
An old one that was a convertible.
An old convertible?
I'm not a car guy, so I couldn't express the model.
All right, and your recollection was this was May of 2013?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall when in May?
Late May.
Okay. Now, you said that you spent a total of 45 minutes to an hour with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard. Is that correct?
After mostly Mr. Depp, but that's after the tour and after they were checked in throughout the course of the night.
Okay. And you don't recall any of the people that were there other than Ms. Heard's sister and the security guard, correct?
I don't recall any of their names.
Do you remember how many of them were female?
I believe it was predominantly female.
Do you remember how many males were there?
I don't, outside of the security guard.
Do you remember what any of the other people looked like?
They honestly just seemed like youngish hipsters, like for lack of a better term. I know that previously a couple of them had stayed at Hicksville Trailer Palace. That's how they knew about the place.
Okay. So you don't recall seeing how much anybody had to drink that night, correct?
I did not witness that.
And do you recall the use of drugs at all?
I did not witness that.
Okay. Were you sitting at any point with these people at the campfire?
I was not.
And when you said that that you saw Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp, and Ms. Heard was yelling at Mr. Depp. Where were they?
She pulled him for a chat, and it was off towards their trailer, like a little bit off towards the dirt.
How many feet were there between the campfire and their trailer?
The campfire and their trailer,
Yes.
approximately 75.
Okay. So where in that 75 feet did Ms. Heard pull Mr. Depp and yell at him and he cowered?
20
Okay. 20
from the campfire.
From
not
the
trailer.
campfire.
Yeah.
So your testimony is that Ms. Heard grabbed Mr. Heard, pulled him 20 feet over.
Mr. Heard.
He cowered.
Yes, that's what I witnessed.
And then did they go back?
I went inside the house.
So you don't know whether they returned to the campfire or they returned to their trailer?
I do not.
Okay. And do you know whether there were any disagreements or physical communications, anything of that nature at the campfire?
I do not.
Do you know whether Mr. Depp did anything to anybody else at the campfire?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Do you know whether Mr. Depp grabbed anybody's wrist and asked them if they knew how many pounds of pressure it took to break their wrist?
I wasn't there the whole time.
Okay. Is it your testimony that Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard went last to their trailer? Everybody else went before them?
The rest of the people, I think about half of them had already gone to bed, and they went, it was all around the same time at the end of the night that the rest kind of scattered. There might have been a couple of people that went right after them or right before, but it was all around the same time.
Okay, so your recollection is that when Amber and Johnny Depp went back to their trailer, that dissipated. Everybody then left at that point.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how far away was your house that you were staying in from the trailer that Amber and Johnny Depp were staying in?
I'd say it was about 75 feet away.
Okay. And the next time that you saw or heard anything was when you went there in the morning and saw the broken sconce. Is that
Yes,
correct?
I didn't hear anything after went to bed.
Okay. And that's the extent of your knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
All right, redirect.
Mr. Knight, how did you get involved in this trial?
I got a text from one of our old employees who I didn't talk to for
Objection,
years.
hearsay.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Don't tell us what the text said, just how did you
Okay.
get involved?
I got a text
Okay.
from. I got a.
Still hearsay, Your Honor.
Okay.
Objection.
Overruled.
Thank you. Go on, Mr. Knight.
I was asked
No.
if it was.
No.
Objection,
that.
hearsay.
Apologize.
What did you,
I got a
what did
text.
you received a text? Okay.
Yes,
From
and
whom?
from a former employee.
Okay. And how long had it been since you had heard from this former employee?
Approximately 5 years.
And did you contact Mr. Depp or any of his attorneys?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
I did not.
How did you get in touch with Mr. Depp's attorneys?
They got in touch with me.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
What?
Mr. Knight?
They reached out to me.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't have an objection.
Jumpy. Jumpy.
Next question.
Look at Camille. I like Camille.
Objection, relevance.
It's extremely relevant considering that they have accused him of being.
Overruled.
Thank you.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell what I saw, and that's the extent of it. I really don't care. Outside.
I like him.
All right.
I like him.
Assumes
I
there's
like
some
him.
recall, is that- All right, so you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, Camille got a smirk like, gotcha.
Or is it going to be a deposition or is it?
Apologies, Your Honor. Thank you. Dr. Shaw.
Okay,
Plaintiff
Dr.
calls
Shaw.
Dr. Shaw.
Okay, Dr. Shaw.
Come through, Dr. Shaw. Oh, they switch it out. They switch it out for redirect. Look at her. She said, got him, got him, got him. We in there. Oh, child.
Just happened.
I don't know. Your internet is being unruly. That part, Miss Creative. He said, I don't care. Y'all reached out to me. Refresh.
The Ergo Smart Base
Oh,
routine comedic
gosh.
responds to snoring automatically, so no hiding under your pillow or
Okay, maybe they just got a frozen feed. No, because they graphics working, right? You muted anyway.
And I'm talking to myself. Let's figure this all out.
Talking cash money for the 99 and the
You know what?
2000.
You're rubbing off on me. That's you.
I do that every show.
I've been all professional all my life until I met you. Oh Lord.
Be starting the stream like,
Yeah, people's. All right, you see it good?
yes.
All right, people's doing their thing.
Following that, excuse me. Following that, I moved here to the United States for the first time and did a residency in adult psychiatry at the Einstein College of Medicine, which is in New York.
I'm with you, creative.
It was 4 years of training in the Bronx. And
Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out to
some
Bronx.
special
Yeah.
training in, family therapy, couples and family therapy as in my 4th year. And after that, I moved to California, and I've worked at Stanford. I studied at Stanford. I did a fellowship in child and adolescent psychiatry, and I've been at Stanford pretty much since then.
Dr. Shaw, what is your current position?
I'm a professor of psychiatry in the Department of Psychiatry at Stanford. I also run what's called the Psychiatry Consult Service at the Children's Hospital at Stanford.
What, if any, professional certifications have you received?
I have what's called board certification in adult and general psychiatry. I obtained that from the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology in 1991. And then I obtained subspecialty board certification in child and adolescent psychiatry in 1993.
Are you a member of any professional organizations in the field of psychiatry?
Yes, I am. I'm a member of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. I'm also a member of the Academy of Consultation Liaison Psychiatry.
How long have you been practicing psychiatry?
If you include my training in psychiatry residency in the US, that would be since 1985.
Is that approximately 35 years?
Yeah, I think so.
What percentage of your practice
I'm
involves?
kind of skilled in this. This is what I do.
Yeah, approximately 3/4 of my time is working with patients. I work in the pediatric hospital, treating a combination of mainly children and adolescents with severe medical conditions, but also working with parents of children who have severe medical conditions. I also consult to the pediatric emergency room, and we evaluate patients who show up with suicide attempts and other serious situations.
What does the remaining quarter of your practice entail?
Well, as a professor, I have to do a number of academic activities. So I do research, I do a lot of teaching, I give lectures,
Just for the audience, that train is not coming from my end.
No, that's me. My bad.
Oh, okay.
I do some administrative work. Yeah, so it's a pretty diverse, varied day and week.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about your research and academic work?
A lot of my research has involved looking at the issue of trauma and PTSD in parents who have medically fragile children. A lot of these parents are naturally really affected by their child's illness and develop trauma symptoms. So I've developed some interventions to try to help parents provide support and treatment to reduce their symptoms of trauma.
Have you published articles or books in your area of expertise?
Yes, I have. I've published approximately 70 or probably closer to 80 peer-reviewed manuscripts in different scientific journals. I've also published a number of book chapters on various topics, approximately 30. And I have published 3 textbooks, one of which has gone into a second edition on topics that are related to my area of expertise. And one of them actually is about the treatment of PTSD in parents of premature infants.
Have you published a book through the APA?
Actually, all of those books were published through the APA, the American Psychiatric Association. They have a publishing house, and that's been my publishing company.
What is the APA?
The APA, the American Psychiatric Association, not to be confused with the American Psychological Association, is a professional organization that represents psychiatrists in the US. The last time I looked at this, I think there's about 37 or 38,000 members. And the APA has many different roles. One of it is advocacy in psychiatry in the US, but it also has an important role in terms of education. So they host an annual scientific meeting every year in which psychiatrists will present their research. It publishes a number of journals in the field, and from time, fairly frequently it publishes guidelines for professional practice or about ethical guidelines that they hope that the members will follow as part of their practice.
What ways are you involved with the APA?
Well, I mentioned my publishing. I also present at the scientific meetings. I last presented in 2021 during COVID. It was virtually, but on the topic of group therapy for parents with trauma symptoms. I follow the APA and their various guidelines. I think it's a really influential and important institution.
Going back to your credentials, what, if any, professional awards have you received?
I've been given several teaching awards at Stanford University, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry that I mentioned honored me with an award for service to my specialty several years ago. I don't remember exactly when.
Have you given any public presentations in the field of psychiatry?
Yes, that's part of our work as an academic psychiatrist, is to lecture, to give presentations. So I present fairly frequently at annual scientific meetings, as I mentioned. I've been invited to give grand round presentations at different medical centers, including University of Pennsylvania and Harvard. So that's just part of our role is to try to educate our colleagues about our work.
Have you testified as an expert in the field of psychiatry before?
Yes, I have.
On how many occasions?
I would estimate, in terms of deposition and trial testimony, approximately 50 times in the past 15, 20 years.
What type of cases did you testify as an expert in?
They're pretty varied. So some of them have been medical malpractice. I've also done a number of cases evaluating victims who've been subject to physical or sexual assault or trauma.
What work were you asked to do in this case?
My role in this case was to give my opinions about the testimony and opinions of Dr. Spiegel, whom you heard from yesterday morning.
And what work have you done to form your opinion?
I was present yesterday in court listening to his testimony. I have viewed his depositions. He had 2 depositions earlier this year, and I watched those depositions. I've also read a lot of deposition testimony. For example, testimony by Mr. Depp's psychiatrist, Dr. Blaustein, by his physician, Dr. Kipper, and nurse Debbie Lloyd. I've reviewed depositions by many of the therapists involved in this case, including Dr. Banks, the relationship consultant, Dr. Cohen, who was Ms. Heard's therapist, and I think Dr. Anderson, who I think provided some couples therapy. I've also reviewed the medical records of Dr. Kipper and Dr. Blaustein, and some various email communications. I think a lot of the information that has been talked about here.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, we'd like to offer Dr. Shaw as an expert in the field of psychiatry.
Any objection? Okay.
Now, I mean, after all of that, that was a long litany of accolades. I almost fell asleep. If they try to say that he ain't no expert, I don't know.
Shout out to him with the cooler cup. All right.
Right.
Ooh.
He fancy.
Came prepared.
He said, I can sit up here all year. Right.
There you go. Let's go. Everybody got little plastic cups.
Hmm.
You got that look like I could look through all y'all. Oh God, well they figuring it all out. Again, guys, this afternoon about 4 hours from now, we will be having a subject all guys panel, talk about vetting. So, ladies, if you're in the area, definitely come on through. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, and concerns, put them in the chat as we discuss about the vetting process. Because we already know it's poor work on the guys' end, and clearly some poor work on the women's end. So we're gonna dive in this conversation.
Yes, and then after the Great Pill podcast is done, make sure you guys go over to Black Man Unfiltered, where I'll be grilling the women about questions pertaining to how we're viewed.
Ooh, that's gonna be good. Good night. Good night.
Yes.
Dr. Shaw, you testified that you observed Dr. Spiegel's testimony yesterday.
Yes, that's correct.
And to reorient the jury, can you please generally describe the main areas in which Dr. Spiegel testified?
Yes, he.
Objection, Your Honor. They heard what he testified to. What's his
All right. Foundation to reorient them.
That's okay. We can move on.
Okay. Do you have an opinion of Dr. Spiegel's testimony?
Yes, I do.
And what is your opinion?
I have a couple of primary opinions. The first is that my opinion is that he violated the ethical principles that are outlined in the Goldwater Rule when he gave his opinions about Mr. Depp, specifically his relationship to personality traits and his cognitive abilities.
Muted.
My second primary opinion.
That's from a therapist another time.
That Dr. Spiegel's opinions were unreliable and that he had insufficient information.
Objection, Your Honor.
Now, did we tell y'all? See, where's Jedi Mike? Jedi Mike that told you there was HIPAA violations. He was doing too much. And a peer just said, don't trust that clown. Chair. Fun fact, Amber Heard's friend, Me Too activist Amanda D. Cadenet dropped support for Amber Heard and will no longer testify after listening to her verbally abusing Johnny Depp in bombshell tapes. She feels used and misled by the actress. It's all unraveling quickly. Shit.
The truth will set you free.
Amen.
Yes, you did say that. Everybody want their cool points.
My bad, the miscreated. Yes, you said that. It was said. It was said.
It was said.
The whole crew is lit. We know them all.
Oh man.
We ain't going. Wow. I mean, Johnny Depp's Instagram has gained more followers during this trial than Amber Heard's Instagram and Twitter following combined. I'm just saying.
I got time for her. That's what I'm saying. People don't think stuff through. I don't understand that, man. Especially when it comes to a business, your career, your brand. It's like, come on now.
Right. It's the projection for me.
What's going on, Lucky? I give it $10. After all this is through, the smoke clears, she's gonna be doing toothpaste commercials and diaper commercials and them commercials where it's like, hey, if you take this type of medicine, remember, just be careful of your aches, cramps, livers, lungs, and this and that third.
Oh, the Twitter people are saying this is the most they've ever heard Elaine object in a while. She's found her microphone button. Team Amber seems very desperate for Mr. Knight not to reveal anything in reference to the witness that just left the stand. He knew a lot more than he was allowed to say. Ooh. Goldwater rule. Let's look up the Goldwater rule. Tell y'all all about it. Boy, I tell you what, the people are getting an education. Hey, Lucky, are getting an education in the law and psychology and domestic violence, honey. The American Psychiatric Association adopted the Goldwater Rule in 1973, prohibiting members from offering psychological opinions about individuals whom they had not personally examined. The issue arose after a magazine published opinions by psychiatrists about presidential candidate Barry Goldwater.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. We got to educate.
Oh yeah, I've been learning a lot. Lucky if you're around available. Appreciate everybody coming through. 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we'll be having the guys panel where we'll be discussing about vetting. So any ladies have any questions, comments, concern? Heck, if you just want even just to ramp up the guys a little bit, go ahead and ask some questions. They'll be ready for them.
Trolling. Ooh, yeah. No, let me stop. I'm playing.
Somebody drop that mat for him. All right, cool. Caught that. Stay fresh, Johnny. Stay fresh. Just get that Coke can out of here, though.
I can't.
I'm hating now.
Oh, people are petty on Twitter. They say, will you bring in a psychiatrist expert? Dr. Richard Shaw is what one should look like versus Dr. David Spiegel. In reality, the two are not on the same level. And of course, they're very rude. They have the little meme that says, I'm on a whole nother level. Honey.
You could tell it was a huge difference. You paying grandma like $6 million just to do what?
You mentioned the Goldwater Rule. What led up to the publication of the Goldwater Rule?
The Goldwater Rule came about in response to an incident that occurred during the 1964 presidential election when Senator Barry Goldwater was running as a Republican candidate. And there was a magazine called Fact Magazine that started a campaign to discredit Senator Goldwater. And they obtained a mailing list from the AMA and sent out a single survey questionnaire to about 12,000 psychiatrists in the US, asking if they felt that Senator Goldwater was fit to run for office. And about 2,000 psychiatrists responded, 1,000 of whom expressed very negative opinions about Senator Goldwater and made comments such as, for example, he was a megalomaniac, he was a paranoid schizophrenic, that he had narcissistic personality disorder.
The shrink?
And as a result of
the senator.
He was replaced as a candidate. And then went on to sue Fact Magazine for defamation of character. And he was successful in that lawsuit. And in response to this incident, the American Psychiatric Association, that I think was really concerned about how psychiatry was being represented and statements psychiatrists were making about someone they had never met or evaluated, issued the Goldwater Rule. And the main premise of the Goldwater Rule was that it was improper for a psychiatrist to render a professional opinion about a public figure unless they had personally and closely evaluated them.
What justifications did
Research is undefeated.
you mentioned for enacting the Goldwater Rule?
They wanted to make sure that psychiatric illness wasn't being stigmatized. They wanted to ensure that individuals weren't defamed.
Hey, baby.
Statements made by a psychiatrist that weren't backed up by medical evidence. And they also wanted to preserve the integrity of the psychiatric profession, since I think the public in general, when a psychiatrist speaks out publicly and expresses an opinion, a psychiatric opinion, people generally like to take that seriously, and the APA wanted to make sure that those opinions were credible and could be relied upon.
Have there been any updates to the Goldwater Rule?
Yeah, since 1973, which is when the Goldwater Rule first came out, there have been a number of revisions and publications by the APA. They're called Annotations in Psychiatry, in which the Goldwater Rule has been better defined and expanded to some degree. So, for example, in 2017, in this publication, the APA reasserted that it was not ethical to provide a psychiatric or professional opinion about someone who had not been evaluated personally by that psychiatrist, that it was unethical to provide an evaluation without obtaining consent from that individual. They also sort of really kind of defined what a professional opinion is, and how they defined it is that an opinion that a psychiatrist expresses about someone's speech, behavior, or any characteristic about that person, if that opinion is made using the expertise, experience, and knowledge inherent in the practice of psychiatry, that is considered a professional opinion. So it might include making a diagnosis or not making a diagnosis. And the other, I think a couple of important things about that 2017 document were that the APA specified that if a psychiatrist is to give an opinion about someone, about the diagnosis or personality characteristics, whatever, that they have to follow an appropriate methodology. They have to do an evaluation that follows the standard practice of a psychiatrist here in the US. And if they don't do that, they are considered to be, affecting the integrity of both the psychiatrist and the psychiatric profession. And this revision of the Goldwater Rule definitely received a lot of support. The president of the APA at the time stated that breaking the Goldwater Rule was irresponsible, stigmatizing, and definitely unethical. So that was a statement, very strong statement from the president of the APA.
What other medical organizations have weighed in on this issue?
Yeah, the number of organizations have their own sort of version of the Goldwater Rule. The American Medical Association, that represents physicians in the US, has an annual meeting, and they have what's called a Council of Ethical and Judicial Affairs, and they had a meeting in 2017 in Honolulu, and they came up with their own statements about the issue of whether physicians can provide opinions without directly evaluating somebody. And their opinion was that physicians should refrain from giving a psychiatric diagnosis about any public figure, including celebrities and people in the media.
Are there exceptions to the Goldwater rule?
There are exceptions, yeah. And I think Dr. Spiegel had a lot to say about this yesterday when he was saying that if you couldn't express an opinion without evaluating someone, it sort of made the whole specialty of or role of experts in the court sort of null and void. But there are exceptions in situations in which an expert can give testimony in court. So one good example would be if there was a medical malpractice case, or if there was a case that involved a patient who'd committed suicide and the courts wanted to find out whether the psychiatrist had followed appropriate practice, the expert can review medical records and can give an opinion based on those records, provided those records have sufficient information, for example, about the diagnoses, about the treatment, about how the patient was responding or not responding to treatment.
Did you form an opinion about whether Dr. Spiegel complied with the Goldwater rule?
Well, my opinion is that he did not. He expressed a number of professional opinions about Mr. Depp that we heard about yesterday. And again, he did so without an evaluation, without consent. He did not follow the guidelines of the APA in the 2017 revision, where it was considered important that there be sufficient information obtained by that expert to give an opinion. So I would definitely felt that his conduct, unfortunately, did violate the Goldwater rule.
And specifically, what opinions of that Dr. Spiegel gave yesterday do you feel violated the Goldwater rule?
Yeah, I think that there were sort of two primary ones.
I appreciate your
The first
primal.
that you heard about was that Dr. Spiegel had professional opinions about Mr. Depp's personality. And he talked a lot about how he believed that Mr. Depp had narcissistic personality traits. So, and he also, talked a lot about narcissistic personality disorder. So, narcissistic personality disorder is a diagnosis in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It's called the DSM-5 for short. It's a diagnostic manual published by the APA.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just give him his medical.
How you gonna object to the DSM?
A professional opinion.
That's not even a professional opinion. That's a professional fact.
Yeah.
Narcissistic personality disorder is a medical disorder. You have to actually be in somebody's office. And it's one of the hardest disorders to diagnose.
Maybe the lawyer want to get up there and get his his professional. I don't know, man. This is crazy.
And look at Dr. Shaw. Dr. Shaw just smiling like, oh, okay, this is a crazy one right here. Let me just let him do what he do.
He probably already diagnosed him off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, man. You can't ask no questions. What happened? You know what this reminds me of a little bit with a lot of objections hearsay. It's kind of remind me of the witch trials. Like you couldn't get no word in. We just gonna judge you without even knowing you, and let's burn them at the stake.
Exactly.
Hashtag Amber Turd.
Hashtag justice for Johnny Depp. We ain't playing.
Hey.
Damn, they couldn't even pick up her little paper for her. Rude.
Sure. So I was just talking about narcissistic personality disorder in the DSM-5. So the diagnostic criteria for that are, I'm not going to remember every word about this, but essentially it's a pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, a lack of empathy that's demonstrated by that person since young adulthood. And the DSM-5 has 9 specific criteria. And for someone to meet the diagnosis, you have to meet 5 of those criteria. And so when, as a psychiatrist, we're trying to make a diagnosis of any personality disorder or any diagnosis in general, the normal professional guidelines would dictate that we would do a very careful diagnostic interview. And there are actually interviews specifically written to assess personality disorders. It's also possible to have the individual fill out questionnaires. There's something called the Narcissistic Personality Inventory. This is a 40-item checklist that taps into various components of narcissistic personality disorder. And it's also possible to get psychological testing, like the MMPI that I think you heard about in reference to one of the other experts here. So with all of this information, including collateral information from family members, work colleagues, information of that sort, it is possible to come up with a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. So in the case of Dr. Spiegel, he had none of this information, even though he came out and stated with what he described as a degree of medical certainty that Mr. Depp had narcissistic personality traits. And if you remember somewhat towards the end of his testimony yesterday, he was asked to, since he couldn't provide any documentation from the medical record about narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic personality traits, he was asked about what is referred to a lot in his testimony as record evidence. So information that he obtained from depositions, from text messages, from emails, whatever. And so he was asked to give, I think, 5 examples of record evidence that would make it seem like Mr. Depp met criteria for narcissistic personality traits. And I'll just mention a couple of them, just to illustrate my opinion, is that testimony did not really hold together. So he stated, for example, that one of the criteria for narcissism is narcissistic personality disorder is a sense of entitlement. And the example Dr. Spiegel gave is that he believed that Ms. Heard married him for his money. So clearly, sense of entitlement is from a psychiatry perspective, that's very different from a belief that someone wanted you for your money. A second example that was given was that he was asked to give an example of how Mr. Depp had shown that he was envious of others, which is another criterion for narcissistic personality disorder. And the example that Dr. Spiegel gave is that Mr. Depp was jealous of Ms. Heard because he believed she was having an affair with Mr. Franco. Now, if we look at these two terms as a psychiatrist, there's a big difference between being envious and being jealous. As a psychiatrist, when I think about envy, I think about somebody wants something that someone else has. And get that.
All right.
You gonna tell the psychiatrist that he can't tell you the difference between jealousy? Okay.
Testimony about narcissistic personality traits.
He did, but now sustained the objection. Next question.
Okay, and you mentioned 2 major examples. What was the second one?
Thank you. That's directly from the DSM-5.
Confusing being envious with being jealous.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Shaw. I mean, you mentioned 2 major examples of ways Dr. Spiegel violated the Goldwater rule. What is the second?
Oh, sure. So the other big category had to do with
Hey, Sir Hale.
Dr. Spiegel's evaluation of Mr. Depp's cognitive abilities. And his general opinion was that Mr. Depp had deficits in his memory, in his attention, in his processing speed, that he had word-finding difficulties. Again, Dr. Spiegel did not evaluate Mr. Depp, and the information that he relied upon, there were two pieces of information. The first was that he watched a very long deposition that Mr. Depp gave the day after I think he had flown back from London to the East Coast. and he made observations about Mr. Depp's behavior in that deposition, and felt that he could opine or give an opinion about processing speed and other cognitive aspects. He also made reference to something you heard about yesterday, this thing called the mini mental status examination. This is a brief screen for memory and cognitive functioning that is often done. And he testified that Dr. Blaustein had administered the mini mental status examination. And although, from the records, all we know is that...
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Dr. Shaw, without going into Dr. Blaustein's record, what information does a mini mental exam provide?
Objection, Your Honor. It's beyond the scope of his testimony.
It's beyond the scope of whose practice?
Is it?
Yeah, so the mini mental status is, it's a series of about 10 or 11 questions and tasks that someone completes.
Come through, Dr. Shaw.
30. What Dr. Spiegel testified was that Mr. Depp could not recall 3 words after 5 minutes. And he used that as an example of Mr. Depp having cognitive deficits that he specifically attributed to Mr. Depp's alcohol and substance abuse. And he really did not have sufficient information. I liken a mini mental status exam, it's like taking someone's temperature. If it's elevated...
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain the objection.
Okay. Now it's probably a good time for a break.
Okay, sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you had a break, but we didn't. So we're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break for 15 minutes. Do not.
Woohoo! 15 minutes.
Oh, they mad at Dr. Shaw. Why they mad at Dr. Shaw? Because he's cool and composed. Because he know what he talking about. Look at Johnny Depp. Johnny said, got him. Got him. Uh-huh. Got it. Johnny Depp know he leaving with $100 million. Hey. Somebody come get him. He's playing Oh, Johnny Depp said, not today. Not today. And it's crazy because that's exactly what we had said. How are you evaluating someone when you have not medically treated them? Now, we know that because Johnny Depp's team wanted to bring in Amber Heard's mental state, they had a psychological expert actually examine her, and she agreed to it like a dun-dun. But Johnny Depp said, no, thank you.
Yes, let's get a second opinion on that one. And 2, I wanted him to break down the differences a little bit more about envious and jealousy, because I pretty much say that all the time. Like, I'd rather be envious of somebody, but in a positive way. Like, if Robbie has a nice house and a good family, I'm not gonna like do some whole horror movie stuff. I want your family, but no, I'm gonna work on getting the same thing. Hey Robbie, you've been married for so long. Is there something that I'm doing wrong? Let's talk. Or maybe there's something I can work on myself to move forward. So that's the type of envious that's why I want to break down, because most people, when they get jealous, I feel that's more a toxic nature. You know what I'm saying? Envious, I feel like you said, is something you want. Maybe can't attain it right now, but I like to work on stuff that I want when I get envious of people. And selectively too, because I don't want no fancy cars. That's not me.
Well, let's look at what Psychology Today has to say about jealousy versus psychology. Since apparently they don't want to let the good doctor speak, but we can say they can't object to nothing up over here. Envy is when we lack a desired attribute enjoyed by another, whereas jealousy is when something we have is threatened by a third person. When someone is feeling jealous, they are often feeling envious as well. Seeing a loved one show interest in an enviable rival can produce a debilitating blend of jealousy and envy, which means there is a difference between the two. Hey, Chris Adams, how you doing today? There's a difference between the two. Ask 10 different people and you might get 10 different views on how the emotions of envy and jealousy are distinct. It turns out that psychologists agree on a fairly straightforward distinction. Envy occurs when we lack a desired attribute enjoyed by another. Jealousy occurs when we already possess, usually a special relationship, is threatened by a third person. So basically, like Great Pill said, if you got a fast call, okay, we might want that. We might like that. Oh man. But if you're trying to sleep with somebody's spouse, that's jealousy. That's where you might get cut. Those are crimes of passion. Also, and so envy is a two-person situation, whereas jealousy is a three-person situation.
Mm.
It's a menage a trois of emotions.
Mm.
Envy is a reaction to lacking something. Jealousy is a reaction to the threat of losing something, usually someone. This seems straightforward, so why the confusion? One problem is an unfortunate semantic ambiguity with the word jealousy, but not with the word envy. If you ask people to describe a situation in which they felt jealous, they are likely to describe an experience of envy, i.e., I wish I had my friend's good look, as of jealousy, i.e., my girlfriend danced with an attractive guy. Mm. Naturally, this creates a sense that jealousy and envy are very similar, and even though they are actually quite different. Therefore, when someone says, I'm feeling jealous, you don't know whether he or she is experiencing an envy situation or a jealousy situation, unless more context is provided. I felt jealous when I saw my girlfriend dancing with the attractive guy. That's not envy, ladies and gentlemen, that's jealousy. The second problem is that envy and jealousy often travel together. What kind of rival to your partner's affection is likely to create jealousy? Is it the rival with the characteristics that you are likely to envy? That is the attractive rival. This means that when you're feeling jealous, you are often feeling envious as well. And yet, envy and jealousy are not the same emotions. Envy, as unpleasant as it can be, usually does not contain a sense of betrayal and resultant outrage, for example. Jealousy need not contain an acute sense of inferiority if the rival is not enviable. Now you can have somebody that's dog crap ugly, honey. A lot of women can tell you this. It's always the fine woman that gets cheated on with the ugly, raggedy scallywag. There's no envy. There's jealousy, but there ain't no envy. Here is the envious Cassius as he laments Caesar's advantages. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus. Don't laugh at me. You know I like to perform.
Nah, it's hitting on spot in the money because who was it said it earlier? Jill's Chocolate. He said thank you for breaking down the two because he wasn't aware. Well, and like she said earlier in the definition, it kind of conflates both the same. Again, God's good because just the whole cycle this week because we just was on the Rob B channel. You could check the whole full thing out where we was had a discussion, but it turned into I felt was a cyberbullying thing, which he conflated to jealousy, envy, spitefulness, like everything that she's reading up. And even before that, in these sectors of YouTube spaces where we had, multiple individuals, Jeff was just sending out toxic texts, phone calls. People have relationships within these media multiverse spaces, all that stuff. We even broke most of that down on Rob B's channel again with just the metaverse. People doing some stuff now to the point where the FBI is getting involved. It's not even a state. It's not even becoming like a state official issue no more. It's becoming a federal issue. So this is becoming serious business. But definitely understand it. Like if you see one, it's like, oh, she's just jealous. But let's try to like decipher that. Why is that individual is jealous? You know what I'm saying? And then you kind of conflate the two. Like you said, like it's three elements to that, right? Versus envious. And I gave an example for myself. I'm not looking at a materialistic thing, which to me could be one part of it, but I'm looking at even more moral compass of it. Like, hey, Robbie's got a great family. I want the long-term marriage, 5-10 years plus. Okay. I can't take and snatch that from her. It's unrealistic. So what's the best way for me? Let me look and observe or ask or befriend her to say, hey, what can I do to work on myself to be that type of person? You know what I'm saying? So that's, to me, I'll take those two elements from there. But yeah, Johnny Depp is, I don't know what's going on with this that first guy, that you could just clearly see that he wasn't the person to self-diagnosed Johnny about it. And two, I think Johnny wasted his money if he did pay this man, put him on a retainer. Like, I don't know what's going on.
That's why he got fired. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, you go in the door and look at him. Maybe he was the actor type therapist because he looked the part, but when he opened his mouth, it's like, this ain't it. Why am I in this chair right now? Why am I laying down?
Listen, you remember Dr. Kat's Psychology? Now that's a throwback. I'm dating myself. It was a weird ass little cartoon, and the guy was all shaky and stuff. Let me see if I can pull up a clip of Dr. Katz, because that's how that first guy. That's what that guy reminded me of.
Okay. While she's doing that, again, guys, it's about, I say, 3 hours and 30 minutes from now. Jill's Chocolate. Again, shout out to everybody. I will say this. Shout out to you, Marcus, because he'll give out the shout outs. I don't know how you're going to work out your thumbs, bro. Because if we get like over 1,000 plus people supporting us in the chat, like, ain't no way, bro, you're going to sit there and type everybody's name supporting them. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for going out the way to doing so. But, shout out to you, because that's going to be funny as heck for you to just sit there and type out like 1,000 plus people with that. All right, here we go.
Yeah, but I've sort of soft pedaled this whole job.
Now, who are we looking at again?
Dr. Katz.
I know how annoying it is when I bring up the subject of employment.
This is what I mean about the coffee. So you have a cup of coffee, then you want to talk. And that's not necessarily good for me.
But I thought it was time, a good time for you to revisit the whole notion of, what do they call growing up? Yes. Those are the words I'm looking for. Because,
see, you don't quite understand really where I'm at right now. I am like an empty vessel. I am ready to explore, but I have yet to find the right crew. I found a crew.
Yeah, is that the right one?
They all got scurvy.
I know I'm corny, whatever. But tell me that first therapist guy doesn't remind you of that.
Yeah, he do. What, just a low slog out, like whatever point you're trying to make. Yeah. Whatever point you're trying to make. But that's him. Oh man.
See, that's why people like me, because I have very weird frames of reference, but they always apply.
Oh no, it do. It's on point too. You can't disjustify that. Hearsay, overrule.
We're leading the audience. I told you, Joe. I told you.
I swear, I'm using that. So when Black Men Filter tonight, I am so using that. Using that. But yeah, again, guys, while we're waiting for the 15 minutes, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Tonight, this evening, in 3 hours, it's gonna be lit. We're gonna have the men's panel. We're gonna be talking about vetting. So, ladies, I know some ladies was hitting me up on the DMs and messages, say, yo, I can't wait. I'm going to grill those guys. I'm going to grill them. So, hey, very well-educated men, very well off. So they are ready for the conversation. So it might be a little bit triggering, might be a little bit emotional. That's cool, because we're here for those conversations. And we're going to speak in general consensus of the situation. So have your questions ready, have the comments, and we appreciate you.
Yes, and then come on over to Black Men Unfiltered, because baby, she got questions. She got
somebody came prepared.
I got questions for these ladies, honey. We're gonna put them to the test. Man, you might learn a lot tonight, honey. That might help you with your vetting. Hand in hand.
I said, God's good, man. Everything just coming in full circle in a way that you just don't know. You just don't know. Oh man. Shout out to Johnny Depp and hashtag Amber Turd. Hashtag Amber Turd.
Amber Turd, she done set some balls into motion. And I'll say this about this case. I think I don't even think I know. This has opened the door, and a lot more men that are domestically abused are going to start coming forward because, I mean, we do speak about equality, right? Equal rights for all the people, and men have the right to come forward and say, hey, this hooker is abusing me. She's talking to me crazy. She's throwing things at me. Ladies, you better watch your six. You better stop trying to do things to these men because you think you a lady. Y'all better be blessed that some of these men issue restraint because the truth is, a woman really can't beat a man. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah. If you really want that smoke, that part. But all these little mind games, manipulations, and fellas, y'all gotta be just as patient, just as smart too. That's what I'm saying. Especially, I would say this: be more self-aware and reading the social cues. Because if you see them red flags, the same way we would tell the women, just slowly start get Xing yourself out. Because that's if you trying to talk yourself to stay in that situation, it's only going to get worse. And this is a perfect example. Like, and I'm not even like, and I'm just going to be 100% on this one. I'm not taking no sides with Johnny Depp and both of them. It was 100% wrong that what Amber Heard is doing. But they both stayed into a situation and then they both got themselves tangled up. Like he knew she had issues. She knew he had issues, but somehow it just like misery love company type deal. You got the friend, not even really your real friends. You got random people living in your house rent free over there, and they get in your business. You a married man asking another stranger about his wife. Like, come on now, go to your wife and talk to her. If she's not opening up, hey, then we need to figure something out. Are we still trying to work this marriage out? Yeah, that part too. I really crossed my because again, this is my wife. This is my wife. Let me try to talk to her. If it's not working out, hey, let me throw the option of therapy or church or something to get that neutral third party in there. And let's work on it. Because again, marriage is work. Marriage is not rainbow and sunshines and wake up every morning. That's not the Notebook.
That part.
Come on.
Marriages, you wake up and you be like, oh God. I thought you had to go to work today. Why are you here?
You know what? That's a good one. I remember I was in this relationship and I was on the verge of getting married, and I asked my one of my old best friends, his mom, because she'd been married like 20 years, and I asked her for her advice. And you know what she told me? She said, "You gotta be one of them days. You're gonna look at him, you just want to choke the every little beep 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 out of him, and then the next day you just want to just love him." I was like, huh? I didn't understand that. Then once I got in that relationship and the ball started rolling, I said, oh.
That part. Marriage is, if you are a clean freak or a germaphobe, right, and you keep all your stuff neat and tidy in the bathroom, you got everything how it's supposed to be, and then your partner come in the bathroom, and then the bathroom look like, what? And they're like, oh, it's no big deal. I just had to rush. Now your OCD and your anxiety is on 20,000 because now you got to put everything back in this place before you come in the bathroom to do what you got to do. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, marriages. Hey, babe, let's talk and communicate. Or better yet, I come home from a long day. I still got that. I'm burning, tired. I want to. You know what? Let me still go to my baby anyway. You know what I'm saying? She's the only one holding me down. She the only one got my back. Hey, babe, how's your day? How's it going? This and that. Let me get on bend the knee on the bed because you just sitting very comfortable. How your day going? How you doing? Good, boo. All right. Let her go all her talking out the way, fellas. This is advice for the fellas because we know we got them cackling women out in the life, right? How you doing? What's going on? How's your day? Once she 45 minutes an hour. All right, you good? You need anything? All right, babe. I'm gonna go take my shower. I'm out. Go take your shower, go to your man cave, watch your TV in the living room, give her that little sigh moment. My man can't even talk to me. You saying no? You disagree?
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
It's
not gonna happen because once you open those floodgates, see what happened was she gonna let you get in the shower. Then when you come out, you gonna think you chilling and relaxing. She gonna come over. She gonna be like, and you know what else? And then another thing. And you know what else? And this is some advice to the ladies. Ladies, don't get to talking so much that you forget to ask, hey, how was your day though? How you doing? You all right? Would you like something to eat?
That part.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I'm just saying real quick.
They had experience. There you go. That part.
So it is possible for someone to give testimony about a matter without interviewing someone. And there's certain sort of ways that it should be framed. So for example, when Dr. Spiegel was testifying about the report that Mr. Depp was unable to recall these 3 objects, what he could have done is said that I have not personally examined Mr. Depp, so I can't speculate about his cognitive state or ability to function cognitively. However, it is possible that someone who's not able to recall 3 objects could have issues related to substance use, which was what his opinion was. However, what he should have done in expressing his opinion is then have followed up to say that in order to really establish whether these were relevant and significant cognitive deficits, Mr. Depp should have had psychological testing to establish the nature of these deficits. And also added
Thank you.
for these findings. So, for example, it's possible that Mr. Depp.
Objection, Your Honor. Now going past the presentation.
I think he was
What?
opening as to, or is responding to Dr. Spiegel's testimony yesterday.
Yeah, I was defining as to what Dr. Spiegel could have said, but it's past the whether he can.
All right, if we can move on.
Okay.
Why you saucy, bruh?
Qualified to give an opinion about cognitive deficits and processing speed.
It would have to be someone who could conduct the type of neuropsychological testing that I was mentioning. You can't establish the presence of cognitive deficits without a battery of tests.
Objection to what, Nick? Let me shut up.
Appropriate neuropsychological testing. And that can only be done by a psychologist.
Me too. Me too. And I am home.
Psychiatrists, Spiegel would be
Not me too, and I am home. Y'all need a beating. Thank you.
Deficits that required psychological testing to be further evaluated.
Dr. Spiegel yesterday testified about the practice of forensic psychiatry. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I do.
What is forensic psychiatry?
Forensic psychiatry is a specialty of psychiatry that relates to matters on the intersection between psychiatry and the law. So, for example, what we're doing today is forensic psychiatry, where a psychiatrist comes into court and gives an opinion about a matter to help the court come to an opinion.
Are there professional standards that govern the practice of forensic psychiatry?
Yes, there are.
And what organizations have issued those standards?
One of the primary organizations that has issued guidelines about the practice of forensic psychiatry is called the American Academy of Psychiatry and the Law. This is an organization that represents forensic psychiatrists. And it has published guidelines about what constitutes an ethical and sound practice of doing a forensic assessment and providing a psychiatric opinion. So this guideline, I think was published in 2015, actually contains many elements that are consistent with the Goldwater Rule. So, for example, it states that for a forensic assessment to be done, there has to be informed consent, and there should be a very thorough, comprehensive evaluation that would include reviewing past records, past psychiatric history. It would include doing what's called a mental status examination, which is a careful evaluation.
Low value.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn up.
Cognition, things of that nature. And the guidelines do state that it is reasonable or permitted to provide an opinion without an evaluation. But if you're going to do that, there's some things that you have to really make clear in your opinion when you express that opinion. And the first is that you have to acknowledge the limitations of your opinion and not, like Dr. Spiegel, say that his opinion was held with a degree of medical certainty. you have to explain what's missing, what data you did not have that you were not able to rely upon in coming to that opinion. You also have to talk about what additional information you would need to come to that opinion. And even though these guidelines say it's permissible to do this, the text is still, I think, not fully in support of psychiatrists doing this. So their statements are that opinions rendered without a proper database, which is what we as psychiatrists rely upon to make diagnoses and give opinions, professional opinions, is questionable and not generally recommended.
Did you form an opinion about Dr. Spiegel's testimony with respect to these practice guidelines?
Yes, I did.
And what is your opinion?
Well, my opinion is that he did not follow those guidelines. So, for example, he did not have consent. He did not do even a basic evaluation of Mr. Depp. When he gave his opinions, as I just mentioned, he said they were opinions that he had to a degree of medical certainty, and he did not make any statements about what other additional information he would have wanted to make that opinion. So, for example, when asked about should neuropsychological testing be performed, he said most patients don't have access to that, which is actually not at all true. I mean, every medical school has neuropsychologists that can do testing. So I think that was an unfortunate statement. So I think those are the...
It was a bald-faced lie.
The water rule was violated and the practice guidelines were not adhered to.
Dr. Shaw, yesterday Dr. Spiegel was talking about correlation and causation. What is the difference between correlation and causation?
Objections? It's not in this definition.
It is. We can approach and I can show you.
It is. We can approach it. I can show you right here, right here. Section 2, paragraph 6. Get into it.
That part.
Basic as fuck.
Boom.
Doing her job. Well-earned money.
She said, I was ready for you. I was waiting at the door.
Are those medical glasses? I like that. I like them. All right, it looks like they figured it out.
Go ahead, Dr. Shaw.
Yes, so the difference between a correlation and causation, correlation is a statistical analysis of a relationship between two different factors. So in Dr. Spiegel's testimony, he talked about, there being a correlation between opinions he had about Mr. Depp, his narcissistic personality traits, his substance abuse, things of that nature. So a correlation doesn't say anything about whether or not these factors caused that, the behavior he was discussing. Perhaps one of the easiest ways I could describe this difference between correlation and causation is if we look at the issue of measles, if you bear with me. So there's a correlation between being young and catching measles. Now we know that measles is not caused by being young. Measles is caused by a virus. But young children have not been exposed to the virus. They don't have the immunity, so they have a higher rate of measles. So the difference statistically is, the difference is between causation and correlation is illustrated by that example. So another way I might put this is if we had 100 people in a room, just bringing it back to the issue of IPV that Dr. Spiegel was testifying about. Let's say we had 70 people who had all the risk factors for IPV and 30 people who had no risk factors for IPV. So what can we say about those 70 people? We can't say that any single one of those people has perpetrated IPV, even though they may have all the risk factors. And if we look at the 30 people who have no risk factors, we also can't say whether or not they have perpetrated IPV. So the actual presence of risk factors for IPV that Dr. Spiegel was talking about, they say absolutely nothing about what happened in this case.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Nothing further.
All right, cross-examination.
You can tell when Johnny Depp is intrigued because he sits up and he's paid attention. He said, "Let me listen to everything this dude is saying right here."
Good afternoon.
You're not off.
So he said, "Excellent job, excellent. Let me give you a roses now."
Johnny, stop, Johnny.
High five.
About the Goldwater rule.
That's how you lawyer.
No case where an expert has been excluded from testifying based on the Goldwater rule, correct?
I don't know about the whole universe of cases. It's possible, but I don't know personally about one.
And you, before this case, you've never offered an opinion on the Goldwater rule before, correct?
That's correct.
And you've never written an article on the Goldwater rule, correct?
I have not.
And you've never given a presentation on the Goldwater rule, correct?
I have not.
And you've never been on any committees regarding the Goldwater rule, correct?
I have not.
And you agree that you've testified that there are exceptions to the Goldwater rule about having to interview the subject, right?
Yes.
And you understand that Dr. Spiegel requested to meet with Mr. Depp twice, but Mr. Depp declined, correct?
I'm aware of that.
And Dr. Spiegel stated in his designation and at trial yesterday that he did not meet with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we put up Defendant's Exhibit 1904? Dr. Shaw, have you seen the opinions of the Ethics Committee on the Principles of Medical Ethics?
Yes.
Okay. And if you could turn to 79 of the PDF, it's actually, thank you. You see where it's highlighted here?
Yes.
And it says psychiatrists have also argued that the Goldwater rule is not sound because psychiatrists are sometimes asked to render
Objection,
opinions.
hearsay.
He's an expert.
Mm.
Without conducting an examination of an individual. Examples occur in particular in certain forensic cases and consultative roles. This objection attempts to subsume the rule with its exceptions. What this objection misses, however, is that the rendering of expertise and or an opinion in these contexts is permissible because there is a court authorization for the examination or an opinion without examination. And this work is conducted within an evaluative framework, including parameters for how and where the information may be used or disseminated. You see that?
I do, yes.
And this court authorized Dr. Spiegel to testify in this case, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
All right, redirect.
Dr. Shaw, Mr. Nadelhoff just asked you about the court authorization of Mr. Depp's evaluation. Are you aware that the court has twice denied Ms. Hurd's request for an evaluation of Mr. Depp?
I heard that yesterday in testimony, yes.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, sir. You can either have a seat or you can leave. Thank you. Your next witness. All right. Get the TV.
What's that sound?
I don't know because I'm muted.
I just see a lot of people drinking.
They out of the hun. They don't got no more.
Can we get the Coke can out of here? I'm sorry, my triggers is activating right now.
Okay, I understand. I am putting tweets in the chat so you guys can see what the people are saying on Twitter. Because on Twitter, honey, they are going in and letting have their hamming it up, ham and cheese, honey.
Oh, Twitter's watching live right now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We're giving live tweets. A lot of people are cracking up about he talks to the umbrella guy. Honestly, this sounds like schizophrenia.
California. What is your current occupation?
Oh, hold on. Let my child in this house. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
CEO of the Art of Elysium. Let me just go back. Now, you've indicated that Whitney lived with you from January 2000.
The volume it's the volume on their end right now, so it can't go up no louder.
2016. Are you absolutely certain about those dates?
I am certain. Yes, she came and went at different periods, but all of her stuff moved out of my house April.
No, I do not have any children, Miss Creative, and that's from Robbie's. And don't play me out like that.
Yes, she did go back to Amber and Johnny's at different points, that she was still living with me during that time.
The question I asked because you were talking at the same time as
I know it's just I don't know, bro. It's bothering me right now.
Because I believe that you said you were 100% certain of those dates. Is that correct?
Same with me.
All right.
Oh, you previously testified that you were the CEO for Art of Elysium. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And are you still currently in that position?
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been the CEO for Art of Elysium?
I am the founder of the organization. So we did our first workshop in August of 1997, filed the legal paperwork in February of 98 to set up a 501c3. So I guess since the beginning of the charity.
Ms. Howell, when did you first meet Amber Heard?
At the Pineapple Express premiere is where I met she and her sister Whitney.
Do you remember approximately what year that was?
I believe it was around 2008. I'm sure that could be pulled. It was the LA premiere. I think there was probably multiple premieres, but it was the Los Angeles premiere of Pineapple Express.
I'm trying to be professional.
You really do, though. It could be a creep.
No.
Where you come from?
I was
hearsay.
James Franco and Amber was in the movie, and so I met she and her sister at the, to be specific, at the after party of the premiere.
Did Ms. Henriquez end up working for Art of Elysium at some point?
Yes, she did.
What year did Ms. Henriquez begin working with Art of Elysium?
I believe it was in 2014. I don't have those documents right in front of me. I believe it was leading into the year Amber was receiving the award.
And what was Ms. Henriquez's position at Art of Elysium?
Art salon manager, director.
Does Ms. Henriquez still work for Art of Elysium?
No.
When did that end?
Oh, 2015, I believe.
Each time you saw Mr. Depp, did you ever see him doing any illicit, illegal drugs?
Never.
Did you ever see him consuming excessive amounts of alcohol?
Never.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp appear intoxicated?
No.
Did Ms. Heard ever show you photographs of depicting injuries on her face or body?
No.
Did Ms. Heard ever tell you that Mr. Depp was a
No.
You had like a
your legal
it's like a
fees?
static feedback.
Ms. Howell, for this
See what I'm saying, Miss
deposition
Creative?
testimony,
It's not me.
Who is?
Is it better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. I think the misstep that these witnesses make is Johnny Depp has already admitted that he do drugs and he drink alcohol. Yes, I seen him high as a kite. He was drinking all of that. Great. I never seen him hit her. That's what these witnesses need to be saying.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel any particular sense of loyalty towards Mr. Depp?
None at all.
Do you feel any sense of loyalty towards Ms. Heard?
None at all.
Ms. Howell, do you recognize this check as the check that the Art of Elysium received on behalf of Ms. Heard for a donation, an anonymous donation of $250,000?
Yes. Yes.
Will you testify previously
It's
that
not me. It's
you
her.
understood
It's her.
the anonymous donor was Elon Musk? Is that true?
Yes.
If I could please have Exhibit 4 brought up.
The miscreative. You see how quick he muted me? I was in the middle of saying, he's click. Nope.
22 through 29.
That part private study, say it again for the people in the back.
Let me see what's going on here.
What for?
Oh, shots fired. You're ridiculous.
Do you recognize this document, Ms. Howell? And if you need to scroll through the 8 pages, feel free.
Can you scroll down?
Why all these people be stick in the face though? Mad attitude.
Yeah, I recognize that.
Her face.
And what is this?
That is an email, I believe, I sent to Whitney.
Scrolling up to the first page of this attachment, who is Marcel
Paraso?
Sure, Paraso.
He is one of my oldest friends in Los Angeles who has served as a board member of the Art of Elysium and is one of my biggest confidants here in LA, kind of for the course of my career.
And going down to the 3rd page of this exhibit. Thank you. This is an email, Ms. Howell, that you sent to Whitney Henriquez on or about Tuesday, July 28th, 2020 at 11:02 a.m.
It is.
This is a true and accurate copy of an email exchange that you sent to Ms. Henriquez?
Yes, I believe I'm the one who gave that. Yes, it is.
And then did you forward this email exchange and the attachments to Marcel Parasau?
Yeah, I asked him to keep it for me.
Why did you send this email and letter to Ms. Henriquez?
Because I've struggled very much with what to do in a situation that I love someone who I know is doing something very wrong, and I know that they're doing it because they're trying to protect their sister, and I'm trying to protect her, and I'm just trying to get her to wake up and do the right thing, which is tell the truth. It's the only thing that can help everybody involved in this case.
Ms. Howell, do you recall submitting a witness statement in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, they basically just called to verify the witness statement that was submitted previously.
And do you recognize this document to be the witness statement and the declaration that you submitted in the UK? And if you want to scroll down to look at it.
He playing in the people's face because it looks like he sleep, but low key he is wide awake. Picking up every few minutes, like your grandpa.
And at the the first page, do you see a date on this document?
January 13th, 2021.
And is this document a true and accurate copy of the declaration that you submitted in the UK proceeding on or about January 13th, 2021?
Yes.
And are all the statements in your UK declaration accurate and true?
I mean, yes, I signed it. Yes.
All right, let's pull up.
Why her eyes got all big like that? You know what you
Exhibit
said.
9. It's been marked as DEP Exhibit 9.
Facial expressions off the rip.
But see, that's them sneaky links that came back and did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ms. Howell, earlier you were shown this document. Scrolling to the end of it.
Can you go? Okay.
There. Mm-hmm. Did Mr. Waldman assist you in drafting this email?
Absolutely not.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about drafting this email?
About writing an email? No, I did that on my own accord.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about contacting the ACLU?
I do not recall having a conversation with him about that.
And Ms. Howell, you testified earlier that you received a check from Fidelity Charitable in January of 2018. Is that correct?
I don't know if I said the date, but yes, I received an anonymous donation from that check that was submitted. Whatever it's on there, I just don't know the date off the top of my head.
And you testified that there was a letter sent along with that that said that it was in honor of Amber Heard?
Yes. Richard, I was guaranteed 20 minutes with him after being attacked for 3.5 hours by your side the last time. So I am going to stick by what I was told before entering this and what your side agreed to.
All right, your next witness.
What had happened?
Your Honor, Mr. Depp calls Candy Davidson Goldbraun, who is the
I guess it's part of the video testimony.
Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
All right, and that's by deposition, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, Amber Heard's attorney was attacking her. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your understanding that you're here to testify today on behalf.
Oh my gosh, she got a whole mess going.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So as of June 2018.
She said they in the same room. She ain't catching COVID.
By Miss Heard.
What year was? Oh, 2021. Okay.
To the Children's Hospital. In connection with the $3.5 million pledge, aside from the original $100,000 check from Mr. White in August of 2016.
Yes, there was a payment, a gift on January 9th of 2018.
And what amount is that gift that you're referring to?
$250,000.
Okay, and was that gift made by Miss Heard or on Miss Heard's behalf?
By Miss Heard.
Okay, and what are you basing that statement on?
By the check that we received from Fidelity. Fidelity charity that came to Children's Hospital.
What is this document?
The letter to Mr. White from myself inquiring about further installments on the pledge that had not been fulfilled.
And why did you write this to Mr. White on June 14th, 2019?
Yeah, man, if you want that link, man, I haven't seen it in a while. You're more than welcome to have it. Let me know.
It's so good to see you. I've been thinking about you, Manuel.
From Mr. White to fulfill the pledge because Children's Hospital Los Angeles had not received any other correspondence from him.
And what is this document?
It is the letter to Ms. Gottlieb from myself on behalf of Children's Hospital Los Angeles, inquiring about additional pledge payment installments.
This letter appears to be directed to Miss Amber Heard, care of Jody Gottlieb. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who's Jody Gottlieb?
In the Children's Hospital Los Angeles record, Jody Gottlieb was our contact for Ms. Amber Heard.
Ms. Goldbraun, why did you send this letter to Ms. Heard and Ms. Gottlieb?
I was trying to see if the pledge was going to be fulfilled or not.
In your experience, is it common practice for anonymous donors when making donations to, in one paragraph, state that they wish to remain anonymous, and in the very next paragraph, identify themselves?
Yes,
That is common?
it is common for donors to want to remain anonymous publicly, but allow the charity to know who they are.
Between June 2018 and the dates on which you sent the letters to Ms. Heard and Mr. White in June of 2019, were any additional funds received from Ms. Heard?
No.
Okay, so as of June 2018, a total of $250,000 had been received as far as the Children's Hospital is concerned from Ms. Heard. And that was the same amount that had been donated a year later in June of 2019. Is that accurate?
Correct.
As of the date of this deposition, March 30th, 2021, how much in total has Ms. Heard donated to the Children's Hospital?
For this particular guest, in her lifetime,
From 2016 to present.
$250,000.
Ms. Goldbrun, you recall we were speaking about this letter a few minutes ago?
Correct.
All right, and this was a letter that you sent to Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever get a response to this letter?
No.
As of October of 2018, how much money had Ms. Heard directly donated to the Children's Hospital?
$250,000.
As of March 30th.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end of that.
Sorry, I just realized. You said October 2018?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. $250,000.
Okay. As of March 30th, 2019, how much money had Ms. Heard directly donated to the Children's Hospital?
COVID.
$250,000.
What is your understanding of the length of time over which Ms. Heard
I'm so going to eat after this.
Of $3.5 million to Children's Hospital?
There was no.
Let me turn off my camera. I know it's looking good. I'm gonna
No, you're good.
If Ms. Heard were to pay this, the rest of the $3.5 million in 2 years or 5 years, would Children's Hospital welcome that?
CHLA welcomes every and any donation that comes its way.
Has Amber Heard's...
I don't have nothing to do with what she pledged. She didn't give, though.
Children's Hospital expired, to your knowledge?
Not that I'm aware of, no. It has not expired.
All right, thank you. Your next witness, or?
Your Honor, I think we've concluded our witnesses for today. We will have more live witnesses tomorrow.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the end of your day for today. Again, do not do any outside research. Do not discuss the case with anybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., okay? Thank you.
Wait, pause it right there. Johnny side happy cooling. Amber side look mad as shit.
Let me scroll that back just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Not that I'm aware of, no. It has not expired.
All right, thank you. Your next witness, or?
Your Honor, I think we've concluded our witnesses for today. We will have more live witnesses tomorrow.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the end of your day for today. Again, do not do any outside research. Do not discuss the case with anybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Okay?
That's crazy.
Thank you.
Watch it. Wait for it.
Priceless.
He's like, bro, good job today.
What is up with these outfits she be wearing? Last time she had like the Real Nation Janet Jackson great outfit on. Then she had like that what's that the Amish uniform on with that little weird little tie.
Western lawyer.
Yeah, now you got like you about to get up on you about to do the hearsays and overjection, overrule type thing. So this is
She's just trying to look sad, and every time she'd be trying to look in the camera, or
she's doing a bad job because like I'll be trying to figure out who she's looking at across from here because whoever's not up, she's looking far back in the angle. I don't get it.
probably her boyfriend. Her boyfriend probably right there in the court.
Elon Musk, you there?
Elon Musk ain't her boyfriend. Ain't nobody know who that baby daddy is. Who the pappy? Not Elon Musk. Elon Musk said he buying Twitter. He ain't got no time for her.
Because we do have a few proffers going to be done. Just for the record, we talked about it earlier. I will charge the 30 minutes extra time for today to the plaintiff's team so we can stay on time.
Hey.
Okay. All right. And I believe, Mr. Rodenborn, you had some proffers you wanted to do for testimony.
We did,
for
Your Honor,
for the record.
testimony in a few exhibits. Mr. Nadelhoff is actually.
Okay, Mr. Nadelhoff, if you want to proffer testimony for the record as to testimony that the court has sustained objections.
How much time they got? I don't know. I just know she said 30 minutes extra for Johnny. It supposed to be.
It's a box here, so.
Okay, that's fine. You can stay there as long as you stay close to the microphone. I appreciate it.
It's overtime without the
Your
jury.
Honor, what I will do is I'll explain what we're proffering
Talk.
evidence for, and then we have copies,
Good.
which I'll provide to you. We'll provide them to you electronically, or I don't have another copy for you right now, but I will provide.
You're a bad lawyer.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, for Laurel Anderson, on March 31st, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Dr. Laurel Anderson, a clinical psychologist who worked with Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp. Dr. Anderson testified in the therapy session. Ms. Heard reported to her that she was slapped by Mr. Depp, that he hit her in the head, had her hair pulled by Mr. Depp, kicked her in the leg, and that Mr. Depp gave Ms. Heard bruises. Ms. Heard also reported that Mr. Depp was the first to initiate any violence. Ms. Heard also reported that she hid in a bathroom to protect herself from Mr. Depp. Ms. Heard also reported to Dr. Anderson that Mr. Depp threw a phone at her on May 21st, 2016, hit her and held her hair. Ms. Heard also reported to Dr. Anderson that she was a victim to Mr. Depp's abuse. The testimony is contained in Dr. Anderson's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit A. The court also excluded records of Dr. Anderson from Ms. Heard's and Mr. Depp's therapy sessions and a treatment summary, which are Exhibits B and C. Mr. Depp objected to Dr. Anderson's testimony as described in medical records, stating that they were hearsay and that they did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for purposes of medical treatment. The court sustained the objection on the grounds that the testimony and exhibits were hearsay. For Dr. Kipper, on March 31st, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Dr. David Kipper, Mr. Depp's physician. Dr. Kipper testified Ms. Heard voiced concerns of Mr. Depp's behavior while on drugs and alcohol, that Mr. Depp tried to fight and push Ms. Heard while he was attempting detox on his island, and that she found lots of cocaine in February 2016. Dr. Kipper also testified he told Mr. Depp to, quote, bury the dragon, which referred to the bad feelings that Mr. Depp has inside him. This testimony is contained in Dr. Kipper's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit D. Dr. Kipper also testified about an email he wrote explaining Mr. Depp's.
I know he not gonna read through that whole binder. I know he not.
Dr.
They
Kipper
trying,
wrote
boy. They are
to Mr.
trying.
Depp's sister that Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger, romanticized the drug culture, and had no patience if his needs were not met. This email is Exhibit C.
You know what we ain't never heard?
What?
And Amber Heard left. And Amber Heard left. Why she never left?
Did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for purposes of medical treatment. The court sustained the objection on the ground that the testimony and exhibits were hearsay. Deborah Lloyd. On March 31st, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Debbie Lloyd, Mr. Depp's nurse. Ms. Lloyd testified Ms. Heard voiced concerns about Mr. Depp's behavior while on drugs and alcohol, and that Mr. Depp worked himself up into a rage and was trying to fight Ms. Heard while he was attempting detox on his island. This testimony is contained in Ms. Lloyd's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit F. Also, Ms. Lloyd kept nursing notes on these issues that she testified to, which is Exhibit G. Mr. Depp objected to Ms. Lloyd's testimony and portions of the nursing notes, stating it was hearsay.
When the audience is over it and they leaving, you know you're losing.
Medical treatment. The court sustained the objection on the ground that the testimony and portions of the nursing notes were hearsay. Aaron Borum Filati. On March 31st and April 1st, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Ms. Filati, Ms. Heard's, and Mr. Depp's nurse. Ms. Filati testified that Ms. Heard reported to her on December 16th, 2015, that Mr. Depp headbutted Ms. Heard in the forehead. This also was contained in Ms. Filati's nursing notes, which is Exhibit H. Ms. Filati further testified that Ms. Heard reported being freaked out after the December 2015 incident and testified to text messages between herself and Ms. Heard, where Ms. Heard reported the incident of abuse. These text messages are Exhibits I, J, K, L, and M. Ms. Filati also testified that on May 21st, 2016, Ms. Heard reported that Mr. Depp became completely delusional and crazed and hit Ms. Heard in the face while she was on the phone with I.O. Tillett Wright. Ms. Filati testified to text messages reporting this as well, which are contained in Exhibit N. The testimony is contained in Ms. Filati's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit O. Mr. Depp objected to Ms. Filati's testimony, portions of the nursing notes, and the text messages referenced stating it was hearsay that did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for purposes of medical treatment. The court sustained the objections on the grounds that the testimony and portions of the nursing notes and the text messages were hearsay. Amy Banks, Dr. Amy Banks. On April 29th, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Dr. Amy Banks, a clinical psychologist and relationship consultant who worked with Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp. Dr. Banks testified that in therapy sessions, Ms. Heard reported that Mr. Depp attacked her physically, including by hitting her with his hand. Dr. Banks also testified that Ms. Heard reported that Mr. Depp cut his finger off and burned himself with a cigarette. Dr. Banks also reported that Ms. Heard told her that Mr. Depp initiated the violence while in a session with Mr. Depp, and Mr. Depp did not object to the characterization.
Did they mute him?
Finally, Dr. Banks testified that she believed Ms. Heard's account
It's going on.
and that Ms. Heard was a victim of domestic
Oh no,
abuse.
that's me.
This testimony is contained in Dr. Banks's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit E. Mr. Depp objected to Dr. Banks's testimony, stating it was hearsay that did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for purposes of medical treatment and for providing improper expert opinion. The court sustained the objections on the grounds that the testimony about the abuse was hearsay and that Dr. Banks's testimony that Ms. Heard was a victim of domestic abuse was improper expert opinion. Connell Cowan. On April 29th, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Dr. Connell Cowan, a clinical psychologist who worked with Ms. Heard. Dr. Cowan testified that in the therapy session, Ms. Heard reported abuse by Mr. Depp, including text messages and medical notes, where Ms. Heard reported in December 2015 that, quote, Johnny did a number on me, end quote. This testimony is contained in Dr. Cowan's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit Q. It is also contained in Dr. Cowan's medical notes in Exhibit R at Dep 9122 through 23 and is contained in text messages that are Exhibits S and T. Mr. Depp objected to Dr. Cowan's testimony, stating it was hearsay that did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for purposes of medical treatment. The court sustained the objections on the ground that the testimony about the abuse was hearsay. Alan Blaustein. On April 29th, 2022, the defendant attempted to designate certain portions of the deposition testimony for trial of Dr. Alan Blaustein, a clinical psychologist who worked with Mr. Depp. Dr. Blaustein testified that in the therapy sessions, Mr. Depp reported that he had cut himself as a child and burned himself with cigarettes. Dr. Blaustein also testified about the drugs that Mr. Depp was on as reported to him by Ms. Lloyd. This testimony is contained in Dr. Blaustein's deposition transcript, which is Exhibit U. This information was also contained in emails, which are Exhibits V, W, and X. Mr. Depp objected to Dr. Blaustein's testimony regarding the cutting and burning himself as speculation, and the testimony regarding the drugs Mr. Depp was taking as hearsay that did not fall into any exceptions, including statements for.
Why is she looking at him like that? She looking at him like she want to jump on his bones. Like, hey, Brittany B.
Bonnie Jacobs. On May 4th,
Appreciate you, Brittany. Appreciate you, Billions.
Yes, hey, Billions.
Notes of Dr. Bonnie Jacobs, a clinical psychologist who worked with Ms. Heard. The treatment notes show Ms. Heard reporting.
Wait, they all three of them is looking at him like he the hero. He must be running around the office, honey, and a white beater and some basketball shorts or something like.
Speculation, a lot of hearsay.
Notes as hearsay that did not fall into any.
Y'all see how they looking at him? They looking at him like he a whole snack.
Especially big girl.
Look,
I have some more.
Lord, he has some more.
Every page in that book.
No,
I'm not staying for that.
It is not.
Okay.
Ah!
Got him!
Got the whole crowd cracking up on that one.
Exactly. Right.
Judgment. On April 29th, 2022, Ms. Heard moved to allow evidence and questioning regarding the UK judgment and for admission of the judgment itself, which is Exhibit Z. In support for her motion, Ms. Heard argued that Mr. Depp had opened the door to the admission of the judgment by presenting evidence of damages after the date of the judgment on November 2nd, 2020. For example, Ms. Heard observed that Mr. Depp had sought damages for losing his role in Pirates of the Caribbean 6, a movie that has not yet been made. Ms. Heard further observed that Mr. Depp testified that the op-ed had caused him and his family irreparable harm, thereby suggesting that his reputational harm had continued to the present. Ms. Heard noted that Mr. Depp's expert designation indicated Michael Spindler relied on Mr. Depp's earnings from 2019 to 2021 when reaching his opinion, which resulted in an amendment to the designation. Ultimately, the court found that Mr. Depp had not opened the door to the admission of the UK judgment and overruled the motion, which the court did again today with Mr. Banya's opinions.
Here's the thing. The UK judgment said that what Amber Heard was saying was true. So if the defamation case is to prove her a liar, it is inadmissible. They trying it with this judge.
2022, Ms. Heard attempted to call Adam Bercovici, who is an expert in the policing and Los Angeles Police Department policing of domestic violence calls for service. Mr. Bercovici would have testified to his qualifications in the field of policing and LAPD policing of domestic violence calls for service as follows, and further outlined in Ms. Heard's fourth supplemental and rebuttal disclosures dated March 31st, 2022. Mr. Bercovici spent 30 years with the LAPD, retiring in 2012 at the rank of lieutenant. He has extensive experience as a patrol officer, field supervisor, uniformed watch commander, both as Sergeant Second and Lieutenant One, along with multiple assignments as an officer in charge, Lieutenant Second of specialized detective units. During his tenure with the LAPD, Mr. Bercovici held numerous positions directly responding to and overseeing subordinate officers' responses to the domestic violence calls for service, including as a patrol officer, supervisor, watch commander, and assistant watch commander. And actually this, Your Honor, is the person who prepared this, prepared a longer brief of what he was going to say. Is it okay to submit it rather than hearing me read it all?
Any objection to that? No objection. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
And with that, that's
okay.
proper.
You just scared me with the size of that.
No,
I
understand.
Okay. All right. That's fine. If you can get Jamie our copy of it, we'll make sure it becomes
course,
part
sir.
of the record as well.
Thank
Okay. All right. Do you have any proffers, Mr. Chu, that you need to at this point?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, they gonna wait.
There's just a couple of things I need from you. Like tomorrow, let me by the end of the day tomorrow, if I could get clean jury instructions without the cites on them for the ones.
She was asking for that the other day.
And also the verdict forms as well. If that worked out. Okay.
Your Honor, we sent revised jury instructions to them yesterday morning and a revised verdict form today. So just waiting to get
Okay,
back. We'll
sure.
coordinate.
All right, thank you. And you're working with Jamie about some exhibits. There's some that were, both sides noted that were in evidence that are not. So I want to make sure everybody gets everything cleared up. You're caught up? Okay, good. All right, just keep that going so we can get that, make sure that's taken care of. As far as time left, Sammy, today, I can give you a rough estimate for two reasons. One, you had some depositions, so make sure you give the breakdowns to Sammy about those. And two, Sammy wasn't here today. He had a mandatory CLE that he had to do. So I just did a rough estimate, and I want to qualify that as a rough estimate. But it looks like the plaintiff has used about 5 hours today, and the defendant used about 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's what I have. Okay. Again, that's a rough estimate, so don't expect them to be the same. But Sammy's going to get to it this evening and send you an email this evening with the actual accurate times. Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning.
You too. Thank you.
This is like a great game of football. Yes, you guys. Robbie knows football too. Amber Heard's team is playing offense. Johnny Depp's team is playing defense, and they are letting Amber Heard's team play themselves out of position. I don't see this going in Amber Heard's favor at all. You're muted.
See what you did. You see what you did. I'm curious on. My question right now is how much time they got left? Because he last time it was 18 hours for Johnny. The Amber Heard team had 4 hours. So this was like 8 hours altogether.
So then Johnny's team used 5. So then that would mean they have like 5, either 3 or 5 hours left. If Amber Heard's team had 4 hours and they used 1 hour and 15 minutes, that means they have 2 hours and 45 on the clock.
Okay. That makes sense. So that's why he's trying to get that little booklet out the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
He should have came better prepared for that. Look at that. Oh, didn't he just say he was going to give digital copies? That was the first book he grabbed. Now he's handed it over to him? Come on, man.
No, he's showing good faith. Oh, I'm just going to give you these hard copies. Don't worry, we could print more.
Come on, we gotta do our job. Like, how much the main granny lawyer, she getting paid $6 million to do what? Getting her feelings?
Yes, because she's not performing well. They've been stuttering. They've been misspeaking all day long. And I'm sorry, what is up with the big girl? Now, I'm a big girl, and I represent for all the single ladies, all the big girls in the world. What is she wearing?
She's the clerk. That's all I can tell you. She haven't done anything except look at people like they lunch meat. That's all I've seen.
I don't care what her job is. You is plush. You got plushy pashmina, and you wearing them sloppy looking clothes. It don't even look like she really got on no good bra. Now she knows she was supposed to squeeze that ass into somebody's shapewear. She was supposed to get her a bra that was gonna snatch and gather, and she was supposed to put on some things that flatter her physique. Listen here, big sisters.
Emotional damage.
Let me tell you something. I get triggered. That sets off my triggers. Don't you dare come outside looking like don't nobody love you, because then you make the rest of us that care about ourselves look crazy. Chat. What are those?
Shout out to you, Bernard. You said, I know he has more hours than her. Yeah, exactly. He had way more hours. I'm just curious. I would love to know what's the time limit. Just a close accuracy on it. But look at her. She in her feelings right now. Look at her hands going. Hey, Amber, just okay. We're gonna get this together, okay? I'm telling you right now. You just did all you can, Amber. You just did all you can. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Just look. I'm telling you, got A, B, and C. We're gonna do everything I can. We're gonna work it out. All right. I'm gonna learn it from her. Okay. I know you paid me $6 million, but I'm gonna learn it from her too. Hearsay. I keep saying it. Hearsay. All right. I'm trying to think right now. Look. God bless you. God is with you. You have your baby. We're gonna get through this. All right. You agree? All right. Cool. All right. $6 million. The check is gonna clear, right, Amber? The check is gonna clear.
But the two in the background, both of them is fluffy pashminas. They look like they picked them up at the carnival on the side of the road. Why does that whole entire team, why are they not dressed? This is a nationally broadcasted Let me tell you something. I love court TV. This is a travesty. Why? Why? Why, Jesus? Who dressed them? Who is doing Amber Heard's hair? Who is dressing her? What is going on? The lady with the red hair in the back looks like she just came off of a bender, allegedly. I don't want nobody trying to get me for defamation and slander. The purple lady, she looks like Grimace's sister. What is going on? What is, see, you know what? Let me be quiet. Y'all don't want to be knowing what I'll be really thinking in my head.
The only person looked like they came to do anything, that was the nice lady on the right here, and she's not even in the jury stand or doing the lawyer stuff. She just stepped over the little bench. Is like, hey, look at me. You see how you dress? This is how you supposed to dress.
Right. Now her look is a little off because she really should have a purse that matches them boots. However, that pashmina is giving me life.
Ooh, and just a power play on this one, because I know sometimes people's psyche, like Amber Heard supposed to be the pretty one, right? And she got like the demographic of the non-attractive people around her, so that might make her feel more powerful and dominant over them. I just thought about that. It just hit me.
Oh, that would be great if she was actually looking pretty, because she actually looked like kinfolk to them. They all look the same to me. They look like ain't none of them put on a bit more makeup, brush their hair, no nothing. Look at that braid. Is that supposed to be? Who did that?
Shout out to Ozark. Shout out to Ozark. Just saying.
They trying to act like the fake smiles of Kiki. Ha ha. No, y'all look raggedy.
Sheriff, stay focused, man. You don't know what Amber could do. She already triggered. She lied on a grown man, a millionaire, a very successful guy, been doing this for over decades. Keep your eye on her.
And they the only people still in the courtroom. Everybody else didn't live. That's why the camera's straight on them. Do something stupid. Act crazy if you want to. We got you on wax. Get booked.
Man just had a full box. Now, come on now. I forgot to figure this out. Let's go. Only one cool collector with the hands in his pockets. Okay.
Amber trying to get all her questions now so she don't got to pay them. They hourly.
You better. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. And you know what? I apologize. That makes a lot of sense. I apologize. Staying there as long as you're like, you know what? I got time for this. I got to go.
I paid you for the day. We're going to stay right here. Y'all going to answer my question.
For the hour? Look, we already hitting that clock 5:17. You got 45 minutes out of me.
Oh, she mad. Look. See, that show how she threw that vodka bottle. Just like
yeah, hands going. Look at that. Hands going. Hands is going.
Y'all losing. I don't know what the hell y'all think. Y'all better watch Camille's tape. You better watch them plays. Get it together.
We're going to go through them gang signs. Book. Look at that. I already seen it. Book.
I'm going to fire y'all.
You too, Donnie. $10. There you go again. Purple girl, you next.
You better come tomorrow dressed like somebody. What are you wearing?
Like just walking out.
You know what?
Oh, she's coming back again. Repeat. Okay.
And I hate
y'all.
Guys. Bye. Do better.
You just said bye 5 times. Let's go.
I ain't playing. That's what she said. She said I ain't playing.
What she just dropped?
A bomb.
Allegedly.
Oh, child.
Well, that was quite entertaining.
That was.
And at almost 5:15, she might have just stayed there the whole extra 45 minutes because she getting charged by the hour.
Nah. She paid them for the full day.
Oh, for the day?
I think so.
Oh, I'd have rolled that clock out. Like, screw that. I would have stayed there for the whole duration. I mean, I'm there 5:15. I'd have been taking notes. That's what she messed up on. I'd have been taking notes.
There's nothing that she could say. And so according to the Twitters earlier today, what they say that somebody asked for a motion. They filed a motion so it could get struck down so they could verbally disseminate Amber Heard.
Oh Lord, disseminate. Let me go ahead and Google that one too. All right. I'm just messing with y'all.
Ooh.
No, I'm not messing with y'all. I am messing with y'all. No, I'm not messing with y'all.
Listen. See, this is why you get the after show from the court. After show is the after party. After the party is the hotel lobby. Child. Look at this.
All right.
Don't play with me, Twitter.
Can you zoom that in?
I'm trying to, and it's trying to play stupid with me.
Okay.
Well, anyway, this is as far as it will go. What? Who
That's
told
good.
you? What the hell? No, it's not. Oh, why y'all haters? Oh, why y'all haters? TMZ has filed an emergency motion to protect the person who sold that dang on what's the thing? The kitchen video. Somebody sold it. Who sold the kitchen video? Where did the tweet go?
Look at all the tweets. They are on it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the original link?
No, that's what I'm saying. It was here in this thread, and I don't even know where it went that quick. So now I'm trying to find it again. You know what?
What about the yeah, man, we stay on it, man. We like Tango and Cash. Hold on, Arnold Schwarzenegger was Tango, right?
I think so.
I mean Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I'm Tango. She's Cash. I'm just trying to get my parts right.
I'm not playing with you. So they filed this today, May 24th at 2:14 p.m. with Honorable Judge T. Frey in the circuit with the clerk, Circuit County Court, Fairfax, Virginia. Dear Chief Judge Alcatraz, whatever. Whatever. As I can't read that, that's too small. We represent EHM Productions Incorporated, the owner and operator of TMZ. Enclosed is a courtesy copy of the emergency motion for protective order that we are filing this afternoon within the clerk of the court. In this manner, we would appreciate the opportunity to present our motion to the court. We are available to attend the courtroom or appear by video conference at the court's convenience. Respectfully, Charles D. Telbin. Ooh, child. Declaration. Oh, let me see if this will zoom in. Don't play with me, Twitter. Zoom in. No, y'all haters. Y'all are very hateful, Twitter. Jason Beckerman, pursuant to VA Code Section 8.01-4.3, states as follows. I am the head of business and legal affairs for EHM Productions Incorporated. Blah, 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 TMZ, blah, 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 TMZ, blah, 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 blah. On August 12, 2016, TMZ published an article titled Johnny Depp Goes Off on Amber, Smashes Wine Glass Bottle, a video. Come through, Beatrix, kiddo. Okay. A video of Mrs. Heard and Mr. Depp accompanied the article. The article and video may be seen here. The video was provided to journalists at TMZ in California by a confidential source. TMZ promised this source that it would maintain their confidentiality and would not disclose their name or other information about them. TMZ makes such promises of confidentiality from time to time so that it may publish information in the public interest, and it relies on the journalist's privilege protecting the identity of confidential sources to do so. TMZ's source has not at any time since they provided the video waived their right to confidentiality or indicated to TMZ that it was released from its promise of confidentiality. Yesterday, May 23rd, TMZ learned from a report published at Radar Online that plaintiff in this matter intended to call Morgan Tremaine to testify very shortly. According to Radar Online, the plaintiff plans to elicit testimony from Mr. Tremaine regarding TMZ's confidential source in an effort to impeach the credibility of the defendant. Mr. Tremaine was a was a what? He was a what? Whatever. They didn't chop it up and cut it up. But honey, the point is this. Mr. Tremaine finna tell who spilled the tea, who dropped the bees, and then it's gonna prove that Amber Heard's raggedy, ghetto, ratchet trailer park down to the garbage behind was releasing stuff to tarnish Johnny Depp's image, and he is going to win his defamation suit. The judge can't make TMZ tell, but you can't tell nobody else what they can and cannot say. That falls under protected speech, Amendment number 1.
Boo! Hey, Erica Badu, that was real gay, my nigga. Cut that out.
I gotta get the Erica Badu. No. Y'all see how Angela's does? This is the respect I get.
Oh God. But anyway, just to get a short recap. So guys, again, in 2 hours, if Eman's still watching, you're gonna get a link. That's Primal Studies. That is, again, this is in less than 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. The conversation is going to be about vetting. Okay, going to be an all men's panel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the likes. I'm going to have poll questions, ladies. The links and stuff below. If y'all have questions or comments, if you don't feel like asking, if you don't feel like asking here in the chat, because I know sometimes people get a little bit in their feelings, feel free to ask whatever question you want to ask. Hit me up in the DMs, and I will ask all those questions along with all the little notes I'm working on right now as we get this crack-a-lackin'. So I definitely much respect to Robbie coming in and giving her. I'm calling my expert. This is my expert witness on the Great Bill podcast. Jedi Mike couldn't, I'm sure, because he actually is finishing up an exam. But hopefully he have time to chime in with us on the men's panel at I'm gonna say between 6:37, because Primal Studies is actually driving now, so he's on his way here. All right. So hit that link, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and join us. So we have that men's panel. So a lot of
7:38.
No. The thumbnail's there. What we talking about?
You be late.
That's the only thing is delayed. Everything is pre-scheduled. That's the only thing. Because this is like the craziest. It's like the soap opera drama. It's like a crossover between Game of Thrones, True Blood, whatever the old shows, Sex of the City. Everybody used to just run up and jump for. And back in those days, this is all clamped up together. So. Fellas, if you want to hear some opinions, have a good conversation, come on down. Ladies, I definitely appreciate to everybody. Jill Chocolate, I know you're new here, so if you haven't subscribed, please do. I promise you, we work for every subscriber in here. Bernard, man, I know you. I appreciate you. If you have some free time, come on, chime in for the men's panels, or definitely it's about 2 hours. I'll drop your link, man, if you want to come in and have your conversation and get your piece too for the ladies. Who else we had in here? Again, definitely shout out to Robbie. Definitely shout out to Brittany B for coming on in. Oh, shout out to you, Brittany B, because I saw you. I know I gave you some positive vibes on the back end, but I saw you on I think it was Sir Hell's. You was looking very great, very professional. You know what I'm saying? So good for you, because she said she was trying to do some extra stuff. So good stuff for you. I have nothing to critique about, because I know a little bit. I know a little bit. That's me. I can't help it, especially when people I care about. All right, who is that? Shout out to the billion. Yeah, shout out to the billions. I don't think Mandro's here. Mandro's at another third jujitsu.
Mandro ain't playing with y'all.
So I definitely appreciate billions. I appreciate everybody here. Appreciate Primal Studies. Definitely appreciate Creative. For chiming in and give her conversation perspective on a lot of stuff. Definitely shout out to her, because I was munching on the side, so she didn't catch me this time. So thank you. Shout out to Marcus. Shout out to E-Man. Shout out to everybody coming through. Really, I appreciate it. So I see your guys about 2 hours coming in, so we can have that conversation about vetting. Especially coming from.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
I think we have to finish up the case tomorrow. But I think tomorrow night we should get together and do some cliff notes, because between your vetting show and the questions I have for the lady, that would be an interesting recap to look and give our opinions of what we thought of both shows.
Oh, cool. Well, you know what? I'll do this. That suggestion, I run that by making for Saturday for the women and men could be on, and we can go at each other that one, or we can do it like a women's panel if she doesn't have any suggestions for her end, see what the women think about either what we thought. Well, not more we thought about what the women thought over there that you're going to be on tonight.
Yes.
Okay. So that's going to be Saturday, because she's available. It's always Tuesday. Well, next Tuesday for her, but this Saturday at 6 p.m. our time. So if that works for you, then I'll run it by her, see how that works out. And we can have a back and forth with that.
Absolutely. This is how we do, honey. This is a family. If you ain't down with the family, I don't know what you're doing. You better check out all the channels that we be talking about, because everybody is amazing. You're missing it. Subscribe.
All right. On that note, welcome to the Great Pill Podcast.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough